Hello everybody, back with another video. This one I'm calling the Migrant Dingy incident of the 14th of December 2022. And 4 people drowned after a small boat started to sink, and apparently people fell off it, and 4 people drowned, and most of them were rescued. And this is just a photo from this news article of this lifeboat here of the RNLI, and we will see as we go through this there is plenty of code. So let's take a look at this lifeboat. So RNLI 1746, if we add that to a calculator we get full reduction, we get 44. So we've got death doors, or the kill number. And in reverse, ordinal reverse English, where Z is 1, A is 26, we've got 73 for 3 sevens for 777. But also 73 is 666 in Chaldean numerology. So you could argue we've got a 44, a 777, and a 666 involved in just that number on its own, which is one of the main photographs that appears in the media. Here we've got there were 43 people rescued, so 4 and 3, there's a 7. Interesting code if that's used quite often in these kind of events. And His Majesty's Coast Guard launched lifeboats from Dover at 307, so there's our 3 sevens for 777. Now the date here when this happened was Wednesday the 14th of December, and basically these were reports of an incident in the channel at 3:40 a.m. so there's a 3 and a 4 for a 7 again. We've got the 14th of December here, so we've got a 14 for 2 sevens for 77. And if we put the 14th of December in, look, we get that kill number, or death doors number again, 44 in Chaldean numerology. But if we put the 14th of December 2022 in, we get English ordinal, A is 1, Z is 26, we get 66, and we get in full reduction 48. Well, we've got a master number in terms of 66 there, but 33 is actually 66, so we've got a 33 and a master number 66, and 48 happens to be 666 in Pythagorean, so we've got a 666 too. So interesting with the dates. Now this was an earlier incident, so this was the 24th of November 2021, where a flimsy boat with 33 people in left France for England, and this headline is at least 33 migrants killed crossing the English Channel, so there's a 33. Now what I tried to do was look at the dates, so this is the 24th of November 2021, and here is the date of this latest incident, the 14th of December 2022, and if we look at the number of weeks between those two dates, it's exactly 55 weeks. So 55 is a master number in itself, but if you put 55 into a calculator, we get 108 for English ordinal, so we've got a pentagon internal angle, very popular number. In reverse ordinal we get 135, so we've got our octagon internal angle, and then in Chaldean we've got that magic number 42, which is 6 times 6 plus 6 and 7 times 7 minus 7. So plenty of code in the gap between those two incidents. And also if we put 55 we get 48, and 48 is 666 in Pythagorean numerology, so that number seems to crop up quite a lot. Now, the 24th of November 2021, when the 33 people died, gives us our English ordinal of 105, and 666 in Pythagorean is 105 for 666, and it's also 911 for 105. So that date, not this latest one, well, they're obviously coding the latest one, but the date here clearly is very coded with some key numbers that always appear. So this is a video clip of from BBC News of the rescue. So I'll play that and I'll stop it in various places and add a little bit of commentary. So let's take a look at that video.
4 people have died after a small boat carrying migrants capsized while crossing the Channel from France in freezing conditions. More than 40 people were rescued in a joint operation by Air and Sea, conducted by the British and French navies and coast guards, who were searching in the area circled over there. Over 30 people were pulled from the water by the crew of a fishing boat. Some of the survivors were then airlifted to hospital near Dover.
The Mayday call came around 3 a.m, dark and below freezing, an extraordinary rescue effort to save the lives of dozens of migrants in a sinking dinghy in the middle of the English Channel. A fishing boat first on the scene, pulling people from the stricken inflatable, men, women and children screaming for help. RNLI lifeboats, the Royal Navy, French Navy and a Coast Guard helicopter joined the operation.
Now, firstly, that doesn't look capsized. Yes, it looks deflated, but can you see any women and children there? And can you hear any women and children screaming? This could actually be anywhere. It doesn't have to be in the Channel. If they were to stage it, and I'm not saying they have, of course, but and they don't look that desperate to get out, do they? And then you'll see the lifeboat came up next to them and they were still sat in there. So what was happening, I'm not quite sure. But let's take a look at that clip again.
The Mayday call came around 3 a.m, dark and below freezing, an extraordinary rescue effort to save the lives of dozens of migrants in a sinking dinghy in the middle of the English Channel. A fishing boat first on the scene, pulling people from the stricken inflatable, men, women and children screaming for help. RNLI lifeboats, the Royal Navy, French Navy and a Coast Guard helicopter joined the operation. With daybreak, the search for survivors intensified, rescue teams trying to spot anyone in the cold waters of the Channel. But within a few hours it became clear the search was for bodies, and later one of those who didn't make it was brought ashore at Dover.
So, okay, could easily be staged if you wanted to stage it. As we saw, there were no women and children visible, but they talked about hearing the screams, but we only had the shout from one man involved. Now, if we look at the overall migrant thing and this latest incident, now this is just something from the Daily Mail showing how people are being fed information about these migrant hotels, and I know it's real because the nearest larger town to me is Crewe. There are 2 hotels there. I've been there myself, full of migrants, and there's one in my local town, not quite in the town, just outside the town, that is also full of these migrants. So they are all around me, so they are real. But what could be the potential purpose of an incident like this? Well, could they and would they stage this? Well, take a look at the code. Migrants have been made highly visible, as I said, throughout the UK. Many of those hotels are close to the public and filled with migrants, and it's being pushed now very heavily by mainstream media. And there are crowded debates in the pantomime theatre, which is the House of Commons, where you've got lots of elite puppets pretending to govern, when in fact they're just script readers and they're following what the elite are telling them to do. Now, if there was a debate on the COVID-19 mRNA vaccine, and there were about 3 people in there. So that puts this into light. This is kind of the flavour of the month. And of course, people are going to get angry, especially as times are getting tougher. And but they are focusing that anger on these 45,000 plus boat people, which are, many of them are illegal immigrants, or most of them, and they're housed at taxpayers' expense. So you can imagine people getting quite cross. But the people aren't being focused on the 500,000 plus legal immigration per year. So the boat people are the kind of distraction to that, what the elite are doing via their government puppets. So the boat people are a bit of a distraction. Legal immigration is being spread across the whole of the UK. It's diluting the sense or feel of community, sovereignty, and also the local and countrywide culture of places like England, Wales. Not so much Scotland, looking at that map, but as you can see, it is. So this incident also plays with people's emotions. So people are already angry now. They feel guilty about being angry because some people have died. So there's a sympathy angle. And it's also maintaining the focus on these boat people. They are part of the plan. Whether or not they're paying to come here or being paid to come here is a question that I'm not going to answer. But having countries and near homogenous race and ethnicity has worked very well for the elite in the past, especially when it comes to waging war against different so-called sovereign countries. But they are now dismantling everything we take as normal, even though the old normal is off their making too. But the old normal has been quite pleasant for people, but I think what's coming, the great reset, is not going to be quite as nice. But if you're going to kind of have lots of 15-minute cities, no sense of community or country, then why not flood it with immigrants, whether legal or illegal, and just dismantle local culture and belonging. It's just one of the many parts of the plan. So that's all I'm going to say for now. So thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and goodbye.